forward. There we go. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share that. And I would like to know, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Yay. So this is not an in-depth how to use everything in the greenhouse. This is a brief rundown of the tools that are in the agent tool selection bar, because I know that none of you ignore my emails. I know none of you ignore the emails that come from Better Homes and Garden. You read them like, you know, they're your new Bible, the Constitution. Nonetheless, there's tools in there that you may not be familiar with, or shortcuts you're not aware of, and things that
Not only do I read them, Greg, I have them categorized, alphabetized. I got they got their own folder.
and then you delete that folder every so often. I got you, but at
So
least
it's
you
just
don't.
easier to delete it all at once than to do it individually.
At least you don't tattoo them anywhere. That would be embarrassing.
That
So,
you know.
so
You don't show it.
I do all of that, but I use the spreadsheet for everything.
I have no doubt. Oh, Sheila's here and Ray's here. Okay, there are more people coming in. So, assuming that you all know how to log into the greenhouse. Now, the one thing I will say that if you don't know how to log in the greenhouse or you've forgotten, if you were in our betterks.org and go to the upper left-hand corner, there's a drop down of tools and there's a shortcut to the greenhouse that lets you sign in here without putting any credentials in. It's amazing that how we tried to make that easier for you guys. So once you're in here, agent tools. Now all this other stuff is good and I hope you look around, but there's some things in here that can be kind of a shortcut. So once you get in here, if you want to know more about Zap, when you click on it, if you want to sign into Zap, if you want to see some instructions about how to get your Zap app, looky there, they still have a picture of Haley in there. That's all across all the BHGs. To get more information, to get your training, it's all there on the Zap page. Now, I will tell you, in the next 3 to 6 months, Zap is going to be replaced with a new product powered by Ojo. So I would pay some attention to it, but I wouldn't get so deep in this. You become such an expert that you need to know every single thing there is to know about it. Okay? So that's the Zap tab. Any questions on Zap tab? I will always think no unless somebody unmutes and asks something. Okay? Approved suppliers. I understand why they have approved suppliers, and sometimes they get discounts. But frankly, a lot of times we go local because I like local. But still, if you're traveling out of town, need to rent a car, want to see whether you can save a truck rental, you might want to look in here. So that's what the approved suppliers is. Client discounts, probably a little bit more important than the approved suppliers, because your clients can get a discount on budget trucks if they're moving. Hotels, Mohawk Carpeting, if they need to rent a pod, they can get discounts on this, on the ADT as well. And you can visit here and sign your client up or help your client get this discount. So that's what the client discount is about. I figure most of these are self-explanatory so far. BHG swag. Well, we have an apparel store. We have our own for here in town, but corporate has a apparel store that has some equally very nice, even a jacket. We don't have a jacket like that in there. All kinds of stuff that you can buy if you want BHG. Plus, we have a supply closet. Now, what the supply closet is mostly, when we go to owners meetings, Apex meetings, the conference that we have every other year, they give out stuff like this to everybody as part of their swag bag. Well, at the end of it, they may have stuff left over. Like a couple of years ago, Chris was walking around with tattoos on his neck that said BHG. They have those in there. They may have umbrellas. They may have balloons. They have all kinds of things if you're interested in getting some of those stuff. If you want to have some rather expensive posters at your open house, I wouldn't advise it, but if you wanted to, you could get those, stickies, and so on. So that is what is in the BHG swag. Closing gifts. This one makes me laugh. Here's our magazine.
Greg, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I've
please.
got the BHG website pulled up on my other screen. I'm following along, and some of these tabs that you have are not showing up on mine.
Under
Like for
agent
for
tools.
under agent tools, correct?
Okay. That may be because I'm an owner and I get different stuff than you guys. You are logged in and see most of them. What don't you see?
Like under BHG RE swag, it jumps right to help and support.
Really? You don't see this?
Yeah, I don't have closing gifts, buy, and maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe it's because I need to log in.
Yeah,
I thought
logging
the
in does
portal
help.
logged us in.
If
Never mind.
Okay, never mind. So let's go back. It's okay. So closing gifts. The magazine we set up so that you can order them directly from our portal. And we do that because every month we submit that for you, and then they charge us, and then we bill you. We just tried to make it easier than you having to log in here because you're in the portal more often. But if you come over here and you want generic magazines or other non-Better Homes, the cookbook, you want to order wine, flowers, the resort certificates. Here's the one I thought love. When I think Wichita, Kansas, I think Tiffany. It's definitely where my brain goes. But it's there. If you want to log in and try to get some, you get discounts and various things to come here. So that is the closing gifts. IBHG. I'll be slowing down here in a minute when we get to some of the other ones. There is a insider blog where your client can go
Yes.
to. Yes.
Oops.
No, Lance? Okay. There's an insider blog where you can look at various magazines and so on that you can sign up for, or your clients can. That saves them from getting magazines sent to them. They can also have non-personalized magazines, bulk magazines, if you want them for around your open houses. You'll see some of these magazine covers and prints that we have on the West Office wall, that this is where we got them. And then they have some information on it if you want to look at that down there. Let's get into reputation management. So sometime in January, and when they say January, I think March, but I'm just letting you know, Real Satisfied as we know it is going to go away. Now, what they are doing is taking all of your surveys and points and stuff from Real Satisfied and bringing it over to the new program that's going to be owned and run by Realogy. And in this way, they don't have to pay somebody else and they have more control over how things happen. But in the meantime, you can go to Real Satisfied just by clicking here and not having to remember everything. And if you want some training on it, you can, but why do it for a month? But at any rate, there is that. Plus, there's a reputation management guide, because sometimes people start trashing you on the internet, or you want to work on making your Google reviews better or other review programs. And there is a guide down here to help you work through some of that stuff. So as you, especially you newer agents, as you start looking at the Google reviews, or you want to know how to do some of the other property websites, this would be a great place for you to get some basic training. Global referral program. We are slowly moving away from Cardis. And as I say that, we are still going to take some incoming stuff, but I'm going to be less worried about you guys trying to send us your outgoing referrals to different cities, because I'm not sure that I see the value there at this time. That may change going forward. But as it turns out, a lot of Realogy is moving away from it. This BHG global referral platform is not only us, it's us, ERA, Century 21, and I think Coldwell Banker will be in on this shortly. From what I just told you, between BHG, ERA, and Century 21, nearly every city in the US and a lot overseas has some place that you could refer to. This tells you about how it works. But one of the things this takes out of for all of you is it gives you the way to visit the platform, search a city, look for agents, enter your client, tell the people out there how much you're willing to accept for a referral. Instead of having a set fee, you get to set the fee and they get to bid on it, if you will. You're more in direct contact with the agent that will receive the referral rather than through us. But you can do it from not only from this platform, but you can do it from your phone and an app and stuff. So my point to that is, as you're moving forward, if you want to market to people that come to your open houses, folks you hear are moving to North Carolina or Colorado or whatnot, and you'd like to make some money by referring them to another agent, this is where you would come into, find who you want to refer it to, and take the referral fee. Did everybody understand that? Because I was kind of lengthy on it. Any questions? Okay. Information security. This is mostly informational. And they give me some nifty posters I can put up to tell you guys you don't change your passwords often enough, or you don't protect your smartphone often enough. I know people who will not get on public Wi-Fi on their smartphones because of how much it will open your phone up to potential hackers, to CityCard, to your email, to all kinds of things. So this is some good information. It's worth reading, but I'm not going to get too deep into it at this moment. Listing distribution. List track. List track is a way for you to look at your listings and see where they are showing up on the internet and how often people click on them and so on. Now, what we did as a company is we took this list track information, and inside your individual portal, each of your listings has a connection to this already. If you're in the portal, you can click on your listing. In fact, I'm going to show that real quick just so you know how to do it. And I'll probably pick a listing that'll be horrible, right? And it won't have anything. Let's get something that's got some time on it. That's a duplex, single family detached. And when you scroll down, you see seller report. Does everybody get how I got there? I went to my listings, I clicked on a listing, and I get to seller report. And of course, live internet, it probably won't work today, right? And this is a report that we just pulled from that other page that shows how many times that listing was seen on Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, BHG, Homes of America, Century 21, and so on. You can set up for this report to go to your client. You can set it up to email, put in their name, or you can schedule the report, put in their email, and decide if they want it weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly, and then click schedule. Did everybody follow that, or you want me to click buttons one more time? Okay. So that's list track. Listing distribution partners. You can log in here and decide where your listings go outside of what happens at the Board of Realtors. So, for example, List Globally does not send to Zillow because Zillow changed the rules last summer and said we will only accept listings from MLSs, nobody else from anywhere. And so we had to turn on a feed from the MLS to Zillow. At any rate, this is where you can decide I've already decided for us as a company, but you can look at them. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can get their little flyers and learn some information. But this is how we decide where your listings are going and where the list tract information comes from. I have no idea why there's still a dot loop connector in here. And I will tell you that we don't use dot loop. If we did, we could connect it. But even more than that, Realogy is moving away from dot loop because they are equally unhappy with Zillow owning dot loop and how Zillow is treating them. So I'm sure this will disappear shortly. But if you'd like to know a little bit more, we could theoretically hook up your individual dot loop plan with Zap. Spark. I'll take just a moment on Spark. Spark is the way for you to have some group insurance type programs without being in a group, be it life insurance, healthcare, disability, auto, home, etc. Now, I must tell you, in my brief investigation of this, I'm not sure that I found the discounts to be significant. I will say that. However, there is something about Spark that I did like. If I can find it on this little page here, I thought I had it earlier. Spark Marketing, Spark Overview, Spark Webinar. No, that's not what I wanted. Forgive me. I know I'm getting there. Overview. And that's this. When you belong to Spark, you get a program that it's called Forewarn. You pay $72 to get into Spark, and then you can shop around for insurance. But for that $72, you get Forewarned, which gives you the ability to check somebody's cell phone number, home phone number, so on. And we did this as a company for a while, and I've since let it lapse because I didn't use it often enough, that you can type in somebody's phone number and find out if they've been arrested, if they have judgments against them, what kind of car they drive, all kinds of information. If you are interested in Forewarn, and it's probably not a bad idea, particularly a couple of years ago, we had a couple of agents that were getting harassed by somebody wanting to show them houses, telling them what to wear when they showed up, and so on. It was pretty nasty. This Forewarn gives you a way to authenticate who's calling you, setting up showings, and even finding out some background. I would go on the website and check out Forewarn, or come here, do a little investigating, and if you like it, it's a good deal to pay the $72 rather than $240 a year. That's what I would say about Spark. BHG Moves. BHG Moves is a program that when you put somebody's email address into us as a brokerage and it gets sent up to Realogy uh, with your transaction, BHG Moves then sets up a mover concierge that tells them when it's time to change their utilities based on their address, who they would call to get their utilities moved. Based on where they're moving, who to call for the utilities if they want to set up cable, telephone, and so on. And that's what BHG Moves is all about. You would come in here. It took me a while to figure it out. You can hover over this BHG Moves agent login, click on it, and I'll open up a different screen for this. And it will log you into the BHG Moves and start walking you through how to enroll people, how to remove people, and where things go out. This might be something you want to learn a little bit about by clicking, going through some of the offers, getting some of the flyers, and find out the frequently asked questions. Okay. Text BHG, next to last one, and I'm doing well on time. This is a program that we turned on in August or September where you've got the sign writer that goes at the bottom of your sign. I will tell you a couple of things. If you have a team, you can set up so that your team texts are guided through a single point of contact rather than through multiple, depending on how you set up your teams. It works using GPS. So I have not been a proponent of you guys going out and getting your own individual property codes. But if you wanted to, you could get an individual rider that had a single property code. It works because you put a listing in the MLS, it feeds through our system and it goes out to these people in generally about a day. And you can log in and see all of your leads that come in through here. The company bought sign writers for you that says text about this home at ABCDEF, and it will bring up the homes in the area closest to that, but you're in front of this house is the one you wanted to know about. And at the same time, it texts back a flyer to that consumer. You as an agent also get a text that says, hey, phone number 316-123-4567 is out in front of your house asking about it right now. Do you want to call them? And you can click on the button and call them if you wish. That's text BHGRE. And finally, conversion boost by Ojo. We aren't doing this at this time. Now, the reason is when I looked into it, we didn't generate enough company leads for them to think we qualified. And by the company leads, I mean, when you guys have your own listings, it already goes to you. We don't keep them as a company and then distribute them. However, in the very short future, that program that I told you is coming up that will replace Zap is powered by Ojo. And I know that some of you are already purchasing or working through Ojo for their own individual leads. It may be that these will all start connecting up. So you may have a benefit now, even to talking to your Ojo rep or signing in here and seeing what may or may not work with what we do now and what's coming in the future. So I like that we're partnering with Ojo because it's an artificial intelligence program. And I like that some of you out there are also already found Ojo, and congratulations to you for that. So that's what I wanted to cover today, kind of these agent tools, because I think sometimes we get a little overwhelmed with tools and we don't really know what they're doing. Do we have any questions right now? No, maybe.
Hello.
Hello.
Not so much a question as a comment.
Yes, sir.
So moving back up to text BHGRE.
Yes, sir.
Like the idea behind that. Brenda and I subscribe to a program called VoicePad, and they have that ability to do just that. And that just exactly what BHGRE is offering you. If you were to do it on an outside company like VoicePad, I think it's like $60 a month just to have that. So it's not a bad gig. So
well, I appreciate that. And I will tell you, if you want to spend more money, they'll do other things where you can have your own this and that and individual websites and things. But I think the real power of it is already here. The core of it is. We actually spend more money on this as a company, but not for the reason you guys think. This program also has voice recognition and now answers our phones on the weekends. And when you tell it an address, it will connect you up as an agent. Or if you ask for an agent, it will direct dial your cell phone on the weekends. And so that gives us the ability not to have to hire a service to answer on the weekends or set up very complicated email or voicemail forwards that don't always work or so on. So this is all part of that package. I agree with Chris and Brenda. It's powerful for all of us. And I'm sorry you guys are paying extra. That's too bad.
Oh, no, we're not paying for it. It's
Gotcha.
it's an option in this company
Gotcha.
to do that. We happen to use this company for a different
Right.
feature, but they offer that, and it's good stuff.
Okay. Any other questions right now before I quit sharing my screen?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Any questions before we end this thing? Comments? Please leave your clothes on.
Whatever.
Okay.
What? That's the worst comment ever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Come on, Lance.